Hi there, I'm KJ. Welcome to KJ Paints. I'm doing something bright and fun today. So I have a 24-inch by 12-inch hardboard. What it is it's 1/4 of a 4-foot by 2-foot by 1/4-inch board that I just got at the hardware store. And I had them cut it into 4 pieces, which many hardware stores will do for free. And so then I got four things to paint on for about $8. I covered it in satin house paint. Just because I find that the hardboard is very thirsty for paint. So it helps in that way, especially on the edges. So yeah, so these are my colors today. I've got Dioxazine Purple from Liquitex Basics, Pyrrole Red from Liquitex Basics, got Winsor Newton Permanent Magenta and Cadmium Orange Hue, and then I've got a DecoArt Crafters Acrylic Sun Yellow. All of my paints are mixed with Floetrol and water. And then in each of my paints, I am adding a couple of drops of coconut milk, OGX Anti-Breaking Serum. And so if you look on the back, the first ingredient of this product is dimethicone, which is silicone. So that's why it causes cells. It's not primarily coconut oil, despite the name. It's actually mostly silicone oil. So I put about 3 drops in each. Oops, dropped a little on my board. It's going to repel paint. We don't want that, so let's get rid of that. Just put a couple drops in each cup. I think I did about 3. There's my cadmium orange. I'm loving this orange. It's so bright. All my paints are mixed about 2 parts Floetrol to 1 part paint with water to thin, but they are quite thick because I want them to hold their shape and their cells. So except for the yellow, it's thinner out of the bottle, so I think it's 1-to-1 paint to Floetrol and then a little bit of water, just a very small amount. So I do tend to mix my silicone oil or my coconut oil in very well. I don't find that it makes any, causes any ill effects versus just not mixing it that well. I guess with not mixing it that well, I'm worried more about having just big blobs of silicone and get those kind of wormy little shapes. So my colors, my orange, my pink, and my yellow are all semi-transparent, and then my purple and my red are opaque. So, so I've mixed the orange, the yellow, and the pink just a little teensy bit thicker, hopefully to prevent the red and purple from taking over. We will see. I think it turns out pretty, you can see the thickness there. I think it turns out pretty even color-wise. The pink doesn't necessarily show up, but you'll see anyways. So there we go. I'm still just mixing that OGX in because I do like to be thorough. And oh, I love these colors. They're so bright. Okay. Now I'm just thinking about what order my colors are going to be poured in. So I don't want purple and orange together because they will mix to make brown. Similarly, I don't really want yellow and purple together. So I decided to use 3. I was going to use 2 big cups, but I decided to go with smaller cups because I want to spread them out. So I started with 3. I ended up grabbing a 4th one. And I realized that I'm going to fill them right up to the top, which is going to make it harder to flip without spillage. So I just grabbed a couple squares of cardboard. I'll put them over top, flip them, and then pull the cardboard out. So, so yeah, now I'm just thinking about, okay, which order I want the paints in. So here we go, and then, yeah, there we go. So that keeps my purple separated from my yellow and orange. So if yellow and pink mix a little bit, you're generally going to end up with a nice orange color. If red and orange mix, you're going to get a reddy orange color. If the red and purple mix, you're going to get a sort of a maroon color. So those are nice colors for them to mix together. So that's why I've ordered my paints in that way. You can see my yellow just sank right into these cups, but it ends up showing up really quite a lot. So I'm not sure why it was so heavy. So I decided I needed a fourth cup. Should have realized that after or before, since I've got about 14 ounces of paint here, and those cups are only 2.5 or 3 ounce cups, so I needed more of them. 12 ounces of paint. So yes, there's my very fancy KD box cardboard cutouts that I just used to help the paint stay in the cup. Didn't work perfectly, but any of the extra paint I just like swiped off on the corners to help with coverage. You can see the cells starting to form already in that red there. And that one wasn't as full, so I just flipped it. So I'm just putting the extra paint on the corners to help the paint flow when I go to start tilting. And it's going to get covered up with that tilting paint anyway, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like. Oh, look at those cells forming in that orange. Okay. I'm a little nervous. Okay, here we go. I love the flipping part. And seeing the paint kind of come out of the cup and ooh, look at that. Look at those yellow. Ooh, those are gorgeous. Lots of very bright colors here. My garbage bag table protector, it's only just larger than the board, so it's not doing much protecting. Getting a lot of paint everywhere. But that's okay. All right, here we go. Using more upside down applesauce cups to prop up my painting. It's a lot of paint on this board. I'm usually so conservative with the amount of paint that I'll put. I'll try to figure out the very lowest amount, but I really wanted to make sure that I had enough coverage that I wouldn't have to overstretch and end up with gross shapes. When this paint is thick. There we go. So the idea that I had was to make sort of a sunset mix of colors, and I wanted it, and then I'm going to turn it horizontal or keep it horizontal, and then stencil on a group of, or a herd of horses running along the bottom edge. And then once I I was looking at it at this point, and I thought, I don't know if this is going to work for my original idea. It's such a, like if you look at it in this orientation, the paint has such a vertical orientation, whereas I was thinking in my head, I was thinking more along the lines of dark purple along like the top, and then gradually getting lighter towards yellow at the horizon, which would be at the bottom. So if I wanted to do that, I probably should have done a swipe and put the colors in that order: purple, pink, red, orange, yellow, and then swiped the purple over top towards the bottom, which would be the horizon. But I actually end up really, really liking it. I let it sit for quite a while I thought about whether I wanted to do that or not, or if I should go ahead with my original plan, or if I should try it again with a swipe. But ultimately, I think it really came out nice. Tons of yellow cells. Don't know, again, why that yellow seems to show up so well. I ripped a hole in my glove, so you can see my little bare thumb there. So anyways, yeah, I decided in the end, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stencil on my little horses. So I've got just regular printer paper, and then cut out my shapes, and then I just used school glue to attach them down so that the paint wouldn't flow underneath. And then and that was only a few minutes before I started painting. Then I painted, and then even before the paint was dry, I pulled up the stencils, or not all the way dry, and they just came right off. So school glue is an option for that. Or at least it worked this time. I did get a little bit, sorry, I didn't realize I had tilted it sideways under my camera when I propped it up to paint the ground. So it's a little bit off kilter here, but you'll see at the end. You can see on that very leftmost horse, there's a bit of a blob on his back foot. So I just took a cotton swab like a Q-tip with some alcohol, isopropyl alcohol on it, and just very gently removed the sort of blobby areas. And they came out really nice, so that's an option. Painted my little ground. Don't forget to paint the bottom edge and the sides, and there we go. There it is. So like I said, I think it turned out really, really nice. I'm really, really pleased with it. I can take you in for a little close-up. You can see some of those cells, and you can see my little horsies. There we go. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Bye!